know what the time is? It is Engendered O'Clock on KAFTAN TV, reaching you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am your lovely host, Confidence Reuben.
And I am Bukola Ogunbeje. As Confidence has said, on the Agenda Show, we talk about everything female, everything societal, and of course, social media trends. But before we go into today's amazing topic proper, let us go on a quick break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Let's be fast with our chores. It's almost time for Engendered. Are you done with the chores Mom gave you? Girls, it's time for your favorite program, Engendered. Yeah, Mommy, we're coming right away. Sophia, turn off the gas. What are your fears as a woman? And what are your doubts as a lady? You think you're alone with those thoughts? Then welcome to Engendered, where we bring you discuss, interviews, reviews, experiences, opinions, and issues relating to the female gender. This is Engendered. Let's be fast with our chores.
Welcome back, esteemed viewers. If you were just joining us, you haven't missed anything. We just started. Today on the Agenda Show, we're discussing a vital topic that relates to the female gender and also the male gender inclusive. It states what feminism is not. What feminism is not, or we can put it this way, modern woke feminism. So we're discussing this vital topic today. So before we delve straight into the proper discussion, let's give you an excerpt. Feminism is often misunderstood, misrepresented, and misused. At its core, feminism is the belief in social, political, and economic equality of the sexes. However, public discourse has at times distorted these purposes. Feminism is not about hating men. This is perhaps the most persistent myth. Feminism does not seek to diminish men, but to dismantle systems that uphold inequality systems that often harm men too. So like I said, it's not just only the female gender. The male gender is also inclusive. It is about equity, not enmity. Feminism is not the pursuit of female superiority. It does not aim to flip the power dynamic, but to level it. True feminism advocates for a world where opportunity and dignity are not determined by gender. Now we'll be discussing this topic with our amiable guest in the studio with us. She goes by the name Lois Amele. She is a gender-based mental health advocate. Good evening.
Hello.
It's good to have you.
Like I said, I was telling you before we came on air, we miss you a lot.
We will keep tapping from her
on
wisdom.
this stage, you know, it's usually
it's
so
always
conversational and so interesting to be here. It's not a seat where we throw questions at each other, but where we liaise and talk, learn, find solutions and all of that. So it's great to be here. So I'm excited to be here.
All right, you're welcome to the show. Before we delve straight to the discussion for today, let's talk about this massive failure, the recent exam that was conducted. And just this evening, I'm hearing that the exam will be retaken. That's tomorrow, May 16th. So my question is it the whole of the, aspirants, that those that sat for the exam that will retake it, or those that were affected?
Please, they should not everybody should not retake this exam because I have teenagers that are excited about their results. You know, somebody even met me and she sent, a screenshot of her result to me, and it was beautiful. She had 2 something, and it was, I can't remember, but she had 2 something, and she was really excited. In fact, we prayed, she read, she did a lot of things. So I don't think that, everybody. I think there was a problem with some centers, technical problems with some centers. So I think that those people should be the ones to go and solve those issues and not.
And the massive failure was mostly in the southeastern region. And I was like, hold on, this CBT exam, this is not the first time we are using this CBT exam. So what exactly happened this time around? Right? I mean, the JAM registrar, he was even shedding tears, that he was crying. I watched the video. I don't know if AI was part of this or it was for real. So it's a critical issue.
I think that the really sustainability of the JAM thing is the problem, because some of these centers have been doing it over and over again, and they feel that, oh, we are competent, this is what we have been doing. And I don't know if they are monitoring personnel from JAM that goes to some of these centers to do like proper monitoring.
Yeah, they do. I'm sure they do, because when the story broke, I think they disqualified some centers. Yeah, they
after the exam or before?
No, after the exams.
So what I'm saying is before the exam.
Was there a checkmate? Did they scrutinize the exam centers?
They disqualified some centers because they didn't have the required
They didn't fix into the requirement.
The requirement, yes. So yes, and at the same time they maybe they caught some of them, doing some illegal stuff. And because the centers do have they have the computers, they know what the answers are going to be, or the questions are going to be before. I don't know, I'm just saying. They probably do their checks before. I'm just...
So mine is even the technical checks, because once you go to some schools, when you enter the school, you just see that, oh, okay, the computers look good and everything. Is there a proper monitoring on the systems itself? I'm not even talking about maybe there is this thing we call ESPO or all of that. My own is the checks, the system itself. Is there, aside from the NEPA light or the
generator
AEDC that we have, is there another source of light? Is there solar? Is there generator? What can be, what are some of these issues, technical issues? Because even then, when we were in school, there were some times where systems would go off, and when it goes off, all your answers would clear off, and then you now have to start coming back to check. And for some people that would not go back to check, they would think that, oh, since I've answered that, let me just continue. And at the end of the day, you see that there's failure. So I think that proper technical check needs to be in every of those centers. So I think that the sustainability of some of these things matter, because in Nigeria, a lot of times we just put down structures and we are like, oh, the structures look fine, but who are the people that are going to be going to those places to maintain? There's solar stands now, the lights in the night and all of that. And somebody was like, somebody can even go and remove some of these traffic lights and all of that. So I'm like, is it that there are no people that checkmates, like watchdogs, so that once you go to those places, they are like, this thing you're doing is wrong, or there's a judicial system that catch these people. So I think that one of the issues we're having is sustainability. So we have the structures, we have the systems, but there's no proper monitoring, proper checks. Because sometimes when they go to those schools, they just look around and they're like, oh, okay, this looks nice, it's well ventilated, it's good to go. But I think that they should have their own technical people that will go to those centers, look into the screens and like check the questions themselves, and also maybe send those technical people, like representative of JAM, to each centers. I know it can be a lot. A day before the exam.
The thing is, I'm sure they probably have all these things. They do, because JAM itself doesn't have the capacity to provide that much center for the amount of students that write the exams every year all over Nigeria.
I know those centers
subcontract this out. And I'm sure they have their people that go check. Now the problem is that lapse. that loophole
to check
who is checking it, how are you checking it, what are you checking, exactly. So they probably do have all these things in place, but how is it being done?
Because now asking students to go back again to start writing the exam.
Imagine
it can be stressful.
Talk about the mental stress you put, because when you're about to write an exam, you're putting on a mental cap, like a stress cap, like exam. Then when you now hear that you have to write it again, you know, like I had that time, like when I wrote jam, you know, they say when people get so, like when they get so maybe their marks are so good, maybe they get 380, 390, and I heard that for people like that, they actually have to rewrite it to prove that I'm like, what? Come and see me make that much so that I will not have to write the exam. I'm just like, I want to get between.
I think that is a misinformation, actually.
But what you said is true.
Are you serious?
Such mindset. That if someone scored 380 and the examiner is doubting the person's performance, then
you have to write exactly. So I don't need to prove anything. Hustling to get between 250, 280, got 250, 280. I just want to get 250, 280. I don't want to get more than that.
Oh my God.
I don't want to have to
rewrite the exam.
Imagine if that was actually true. You got 380 and they say, oh, you have to come and write it, and then you actually come and then you not get lower. Oh God!
It's going to be a lot on that person.
Oh God! I just be like, give me my first score. I did not ask you people for this second one.
Or just lower it and give me back. I don't mind.
Honestly.
Well, let's just hope that the JAMB will, prefer a solution, a lasting solution to this.
Lasting.
So something like this would not occur in the future. All right, let's go to the topic of for the day, which is what feminism is not. Just give us a definition of what feminism is. What is feminism?
Okay, so I will just give a very simple definition for feminism, because a lot of people see feminists as being rebellious and a lot of things. So let me start with what feminism is. Feminism is when you see something going wrong with your neighbor. Now, I'm not saying with a woman, with your neighbor, and you're saying, oh, so sorry that happened to you. How can I help? That is feminism.
Okay.
That simple thing is feminism. You know, it's just that a lot of people, fix different caps on feminism and they hide behind it to do a lot of things. But aside from that, feminism is sweet. Feminism is not just a word, it's a lifestyle. It's an action word. It's something that, you do as a human being. So it makes you human when you're a feminist. It's just that the fact that we put feminine in it,
like it just
for the females alone, but it's not. But it's something that affects each and every one of us. And just in your neighborhood, you see a girl doing something wrong, you see a boy doing something wrong, or a woman or a man, or you see a man beating his wife and you run and you say, oh, and you help the woman or you separate them. Be feminist. I know as I'm saying this, some people are saying, God forbid, I'm not a feminist. and that's because of what people think feminism is. Sometimes when I ask people, are you a feminist? They're like, I'm a feminist. I'm a feminist when it comes to my family. But I'm not a feminist when it comes to this. I'm not a feminist when it comes to that. But feminism, it's something that is an umbrella that covers everything. Whether you are married, you can be a feminist. Whether you're, you can be a feminist. I was discussing with my friend, the other day, let me not call her name, and she was like, no, I'm not a feminist in my husband's house when I get married, because it means that I'm going to now start fighting my husband and I'm going to now become the head of the family. But the Bible says the husband is the head of the family and all of that. And I'm like, feminism is just you being kind, darling. It's just you being a sweet person to the next person. It's just because of the definition people put behind feminism that makes it look like, oh, because you're a feminist, when your husband is saying this, or when you're somebody, not even your husband, the next person is saying something, it's important that you listen to what the person is saying, and then you now wait and respond to what the person is saying. You understand? So it's just being, a human being. So when people, I think the problem is the narrative that is out there. You know, when they say, oh, this, they say, oh, it's because she's a feminist. That's why she's like this. You know, people even told me that, oh, you're a feminist and you never get married. I invited them to my wedding, you know, afterwards. But then, you know, people are like, you know, she's a feminist. She cannot, she's, you know, she has a mindset. And people, sometimes they even tell, don't carry your problem and go and meet her, even though she's a mental health person. She will tell you to leave your marriage. So people had,
that's,
do you know, even after, you know, getting married, people still, you know, if I say something, people are still like, it's because you're a feminist, that's why you're saying what you're saying.
Wow.
But that is, you don't, I even posted it one time. I think that was when you now said, in fact, you need to come on this show. There was a day I said something, and somebody responded by saying, you know, you're a feminist, that's why you're rebellious. It feels like you're disobedient, you're rebellious and disrespectful because you're a feminist. And that is just my ideology. So if a man is saying that, you don't look at the man, you don't point out at the person that, oh, you know, this thing you're saying. You know, everybody just has their view. But because I'm a feminist, everything I say comes from the perspective of she's a feminist. I say something nice. Oh, it's because she's a feminist. I say something not nice because that's my own point of view. You want to scrutinize me because that is what I do. Feminism is just me being a human being. It's just me seeing something that is wrong and saying, oh, this thing is wrong from my perspective. Really.
With the definition you just gave now, does that mean even the men can also be feminist?
Exactly. Even the men can be feminists. That's why sometimes, even today, I was talking to, I hosted, you know, one of a program this morning before being here, and I was inviting someone to the podium, and I said, he is a he for she. And he was excited about it because he's somebody that will see that a woman is having a problem and be like, oh, how can I help you? And even his fellow men is having a problem and say, how can I help you? You know, because these issues are affecting each and every one of us.
That's true.
All of us are being affected by these issues that we're talking about, the issues that even the feminists are talking about. We're talking about women in governance. We're talking about cultural issues that has eating into a lot of lives, you know, traditional issues that are affected a lot of people. You want to get married and they ask you that because you're a man, there's a certain pressure that comes upon you because you're a masculine figure. Men don't cry, men are the providers, men are the this. All of these factors are what we are talking about, and we're saying that it should end. So being a feminist is also, you know, addressing, you know, creating awareness for also the male and the female.
Honestly, the thing is, because of all the preconceptions that come with being feminist, at a point I was just like, I no longer identify as one. Because I just stopped it. I said, don't call me a feminist. I'm not. I'll say I'm humanitarian. I'm neutral. I'm human. I'm taking on the humanitarian cap. I'm not doing feminism anymore. Honestly, before I even knew, when did I know about feminism? I think it was 100 level I knew about feminism, what feminism was. But I was already, you know, I already had those traits, or not the, you know, just the traits of being a human. Okay, for instance, when I was younger, one time, my mom, we were, you know, somewhere, and then we were with a family, and then the woman cooked for her husband, and the husband doesn't eat the head of fish. And then she threw it away. I was like, why? Said, it's the head of family issue, he eats the head of fish.
And since it's not eating it,
you throw it away.
I said, what?
So you are giving the head of fish to the man because, and the head of fish is full of bones. So why are you giving it to him?
Like,
you know?
So why throw it away?
Why can't you eat it?
Like, oh, no, it's just a
You know, there's a community here in Abuja that the women are told that they cannot eat chicken. So they eat every other thing apart from chicken. And
I think culture also play another role.
That's what we're talking about.
Of feminism.
So I was just saying that. So when it got to a point, all the misconceptions and it seems like people didn't even really understand
what it means.
Please, just sometimes I'm just like, please Google it, okay? It is not what you are saying.
In fact, that day, I had to write it on my status, and I'm like, please, can you use ChatGPT? You know, to find out what feminism means.
You already know what, like, and every time maybe I see, let's say, a fellow woman, you know, just bashing on a man, I'm like, do you think a man is not fighting in this world like you are? Do you think a man doesn't want equal ground in this world like you are too? So feminism is just all about equal ground.
Yeah.
It's just all about equal ground.
Opportunities. Equal opportunities. For like I say, when I'm talking about equity, you know, or this equality that we're talking about, a lot of people are like, I know, as I'm saying equality, they are like, hey, this is where she was going to. Equality just simply means there is a door down. When a man wants to enter, he enters. When a woman wants to enter, she enters. And the door is not shut towards any gender. That's what it means.
It is just a neutral ground.
It's a neutral ground. You
Honestly,
know, but there's a thing that when they say a lady is independent, they say she's a feminist because she's independent. And that when she wants to, you know, just because a lady comes up and she goes to get a job, she's struggling to make sure that, you know, she gets to a particular stage in her life. I heard a woman when she was talking about the fact that, you know, people from the village started telling her that you can't get married when you have PhD, when you have masters, no man will see you. The man will be like,
you're more than me already.
You are more than me already. And all of that. And I'm like, then the mental state of the men needs to be talked to. They need to see the therapist.
They need to be reorientated.
They need to be reorientated if that is their mindset. But I know that a lot of men out there understands this fully. Who wants to keep a liability in the house that say, oh, she just wants to be there, she wants to be cooking, she's a housewife. You know, for some women to be a housewife, because I've seen that a lot of housewives now the work at home is a lot, and that's why we were talking the other day at Action Aid. I'm a member of the Young Urban Women movement. It's actually Young Urban Feminist movement. You know, it's part of the Action Aid, and we're talking about unpaid care work, because even the jobs that you do at home, you're working, you're washing, you're cooking, you're doing all of these things is a job on its own. And that's the reason why a lot of women do not have access to some of these jobs when they go out, because they're thinking that, okay, if I get this type of job that would upgrade my life, that will put me in the limelight, that will make me achieve my dream. How am I supposed to come back to take care of my family and make sure that I cook and make sure that I clean and make sure that I do all of these things? So they'll be like, oh, instead of having all of that, let me just forsake all of this and just concentrate on the family. Because there was somebody that was downplaying, you know, just being a housewife, and I'm like, have you seen being a housewife? Do you know some women, when their children go to school, they don't sit down till they come back. They are working till they come back. And that's what we're talking about. That's unpaid work. Because you're just doing all of these things and there's nothing. And at the end of the day, it feels like, you know, you're not productive, you have not done anything, you're just sitting in the house, you know, and all of that. But that alone on its own is actually work.
But I think there's a way you can go around it by striking the balance. It shouldn't be an excuse for you to relegate your career.
No.
For housework.
No, so for people, you know, now the thing is that now you have more women speaking up that they want to be traditional women, and that because of the whole feministic movement, they cannot even openly say they want to be traditional women. Because you hear feministic women say, oh, you want to be trad wife? Why? You people are the hoarders of patriarchy. You hear words like that. So when I hear things like that, I'm like, you are feminist and you are saying someone cannot be what they want to be?
Exactly.
How?
So that's the problem with
you
the
have
mindset
of opposing, you know, school of thought, and people are just like, oh, want to be this.
But you know that a lot of people will say whatever they want to say, and they will hide behind a lot of things to express what they need to be, or what they need to be shown to be, or how do I say it? Because a lot of people do not even understand what feminism is. They want to impose their choices on other people. They want to impose the fact that they have been traumatized from maybe their childhood, their lifestyles, their family on other people. So I've been through a man hitting me. So I'm out of that relationship, and now anybody that wants to go into it, I will tell the person that, why do you want to get married? You can just be on your own. For that person, she says she's a feminist, but basically that is your own choice.
Exactly.
That's your own choice. So everybody should have their own ideology behind what they think is right and what they think is wrong. Honestly, so another person should not pressure you into
what I thought feminism was when I learned about it, and now totally different.
Very different.
I've unlearned, I've relearned, I'm learning.
Learning.
So that's the thing. I think, like you said, it's just being a good person.
Just being a good
Speaking
person.
up when, you know, you should speak up.
When you see something wrong,
it's not just for a specific gender. Both genders can be
Then
both genders are affected, so they need to be spoken for. Because
you know, then when I see, they say, okay, because then I think the first male feminist I saw was Barack Obama. I was like, wow, male feminist. I'm just like, now I'm like, please, there are male feminists everywhere, but they don't. The thing is, with male feminists, let me just put it as that, male feminists, they are more action about it, and because of the misconceptions on the feminism,
they're just quiet about it.
They just want to be a male that looks out for everybody's rights, regardless.
Some people will say, don't even call me a feminist. I just want to, you know, be what I am and just do. Let me tell you, you're a feminist because you're a good person. So you're a feminist.
Human.
Yes, I just want to be human.
Honestly.
So to be human is to be a feminist. That's just what we're saying. To be human is to be a feminist. You know, so you protect the rights of women. You see that a woman, you know, maybe she has gone through sexual and reproductive health issues, you know, or she has gone through maybe female genital mutilation, and you're standing against it in your community. You're a chief in a community, you're an elder in the church or somewhere, you're saying, oh, that person was mistreated and she was mistreated by her husband. So I'm going to her husband to tell her husband that what he has done is wrong. You're a feminist. That's what it just means.
Feminism. You're fighting for the right of a woman, and you're also fighting for the right of a man.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
I really want you to, you know, lay more emphasis on what are some of these most common misconceptions about feminism. What are these most common?
A lot of misconceptions. Where do I start from?
The common one.
Okay.
Is more common.
Okay, the fact that because you're a feminist, you can't get married. I've said that earlier.
Okay.
They say because you're a feminist, you know, you cannot get married. That means you. Then another one, because you're a feminist, you hate men. You know, because you're a feminist, you cannot, you know, cook. You cannot be humble to people. They feel that because you're a feminist, you are rebellious. I saw something on Instagram by a popular pastor, and it was like, what you people call feminism is being rebellious. You know, somebody said so. The pastor posted it on their status and said, what you call feminism is you being rebellious. And I looked at it and I'm like, this is the problem that we have, because you have a media platform that a lot of people, thousands of people look at, and at the end of the day, you are sharing this kind of information. So that means what? That means feminism is a bad thing, and you are putting it in the eyes of people in a bad light. So feminism is not rebellion. Feminism is not because you're a feminist, you will not get married. That's not what it means. If you're a feminist, it teaches you to be humble. It teaches you to like people. It teaches you to, you know, to be aware of your environment. It teaches you to see things that are wrong and advocate and say, oh, this thing is wrong. Please don't do this. And it makes everywhere a better place. So there's an adage that I always say, if everybody sweep in front of their own houses, the whole world will be clean. So if you're a feminist, and the next person is a feminist, and everybody's taking responsibility of their actions, taking responsibility of where they live, then what are we talking about? Gender-based violence. What are we talking about? Rape. What are we talking about? All of these things. These things would have stopped, because you see another man telling another man that, why would you rape that girl? Or you see a woman telling, the opposite sex that, oh, why would you do this? Or you see a woman, you as a woman, you tell the other woman, why will you beat your husband? Because it's happening. You know, so let's not shy away from all of these things. You know, all of these cultural backings. You see men saying, no, that traditional wedding you're about to do, you know, don't do it like this. Don't make the man feel like he's going to drop his whole world. I've seen, you know, men run away from traditional weddings because of the list. They can't, you know. You know, and because of that, because they're like, oh, you're a man. If you're a man, you know, don't do this. I've seen cultures returning back things, and they're like, this yam is not big enough. It's not
like as if you want to open a provision store.
Exactly. So
are you selling your child?
So me talking about this now and representing the male, does it mean that, you know, I hate man? You know, I hate men. I'm even a certified sexual and gender-based advocate by the Federation of International Gender and Human Rights. So my expertise does not just stop at, you know, advocating for women and girls. It is gender, you know, so I advocate for both, you know, male and female. And we see some of these things on the field. We see men going through some of these things, and we, you know, we try to also help out and also speak for them. You know, it's feminism is actually a good thing. It's not what the world call it. And I've seen a lot of women suffering because you're saying you are an independent woman. So somebody wants to show love to you. Somebody is nice. Somebody is nice. You don't want to collect love. You don't want to be taken care of.
I can do it myself.
Yes, because you know the idea of feminism is that oh you're a strong independent woman. You can be a strong.
So allow people to be kind to you.
Independent. You see, the word independent. It's another misconception.
It's a misconception.
Oh God.
The fact that you are independent doesn't mean people will not help.
Exactly.
Yeah, people should not be kind to you.
All alone, you can't.
You should help. The thing is that you teach people to give help, but you also teach people to receive.
Receive kindness.
Is really one of the misconceptions because
independent.
You know, as a feminist, like I have a friend, she's like, I'm a feminist or I'm independent. And one time she would just come like, I want to throw away this independent.
Independent woman don't they suffer.
Because she's suffering now. But because of the idea is already
in her mind that I will just be hustling.
I will have to plow through. And sometimes
it's not bad to be a workaholic. It's not bad to work. It's not bad to, you know,
love your work
and do what makes you happy and all of that. You know, but it's also important that you receive kindness from people and give out kindness.
Because
that is being a feminist.
It will teach you how to give out the same kindness.
Exactly.
But if you're not receiving kindness, tell me how you give out kindness.
And I think
you can't give what you don't have.
Yeah, I also think that a lot of people needs to go back and sit down. A lot of us are traumatized.
Yes.
And because of that, you don't even see the next person as a good person. So your bag is falling down and somebody is trying to help you and you're dragging the bag and say you're a thief. Do you understand? That's because of the mindset of the insecurity that we have in Nigeria. You know, a lot of people are not safe. Seeing a movie yesterday with my husband, and a woman left her child in the playground and she went off to get coffee. And I was like, how will you leave your child in the playground? Only your child is in the playground. And my husband is saying that it's because you're in Nigeria. That's why you have that mindset. Abroad, they have a mindset of, you know, the child is in the playground. Another person cannot go in because there's a form of security. So their mind is at rest. Do you understand? So, but in Nigeria, we have...
And people look out for each other.
Exactly. So, in Nigeria, the mindset is that, no, don't help me do this, so because I have to do it by myself. No, don't help me. Don't fight for me, because if you fight for me, it means that there's something you want to collect from me. Oh, no, don't do this, because if you do it, I believe that there's something that, you know, that is coming out of it. And it's because we've seen a lot of ungenuine... Is there a word like that? When people are not genuine because if I've done something, in their actions, because if I've done something to you, you say money for hand, back for grand. You know, a lot of people do me, I do you. So there's no love, you know, that makes people feel that we are. The other time in Action Aid Week, because there's this forum we have, it's called She Solution, and we were talking about having sister-sister relationship where I see you and I'm like, okay, we just meet in a maybe hairdressing store and I'm like, oh, hi, please, does this hair look good? Some people are afraid to have that relationship because they feel that if I tell you that your hair looks good, that means, you know, another person can snub you or make you feel uncomfortable and all of that. So even within ourselves, you know, so not even with the male folks, you know, even within ourselves, there's still this form of hatred, there's still this form of, you know, dislike, envy, jealousy. You know, and the thought of crime. So I think that we need to also go back and sit down and look into our mental health and put yourself through a therapy session by yourself. And you're like, what have I been through that has made me, you know, to run away from kindness from people, you know, because some people just want to be kind to you. You know, like me now, I'm a feminist. I want to help you to do something. I want to make sure that you're okay. And you're like, so how much will I pay you? A lot of people ask that question. So how much do I pay you? And I'm like, oh, come for my show. I have a gender show. And I want us to talk about these issues so that you can enlighten the world about what you're going through and how you found solution and how they can also find solution, and like, how much can I pay? And I'm like, you are just doing this so that, you know, people can also know how to move past the pain that they've been through.
All right, Lois, let's quickly go on a short break, and when we come back, the show continues. Stay tuned.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why at KAFTAN Television,
we imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
We blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At KAFTAN TV, broadcasting is not just about information, education, and entertainment.
It's an aggregation of all you need to know in Nigeria
And around the world to create signal.
At KAFTAN Television, we have all it takes to be on top in broadcasting.
Our mission is simple: to project Africa in a truthful yet positive manner.
Wait, we're coming to you in style.
Here we are, starting from September.
Look at what the facts are.
And as you say on KAFTAN TV,
Imagine a beautiful world.
Welcome back to the Engender Show. If you're just joining us, well, you've missed a little, but you know, just sit back and enjoy. So we're still talking of the topic. We're still on the topic: what feminism is not. And initially, just a quick fact, quick note. The topic was supposed to be like modern woke feminism.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the definition of what feminism is now is different from
what it was.
You know, what it was.
Or what the ideology was when the person that started it, you know, talked about it. Yeah.
So, do you think that is our maybe our generation or like what exactly is causing this misconception? Because something has to be causing it. When you see all the make it make sense or per or
that's some period
or period that is causing all these misconceptions because you go online and the idea
social media is another problem again.
You know, the idea of what feminism is out there, it is absolutely, you know, disturbing. You know, you go online and you see women, men don't, if you know, like if you do this, don't give this to your man, and it is, and the thing is, we are in the information age.
Of course, it keeps going viral.
Some people spend like 10 hours a day. I'm not talking about work. I'm talking about just leisure time
for fun
on social media. So what exactly do you think causes this misconception?
Okay, so Mr. Ejembi, he's our coordinator, you know, in Action Aid for She Solution. And there was a time he brought up something, I think it was on Twitter or somewhere, and he said, my sister just became a feminist.
Wow.
And the comment section was filled up. Your sister has finally, you know, a lot of
I
finally joined them. You better remove her from that thing. You better, there's, you know, a lot of things, you know, started, you know, folding on that, and
more negative comments.
Negative comments, exactly. And then it was like, you know, it was very traumatizing, because I feel that the misconception comes from the fact that a lot of people do not know what it means. A lot of people started calling feminism when it suits them best. You know, because some people, you know, due to the fact that maybe they want to do something and maybe in their home they don't agree to do that particular thing. So when I say agree, I'm talking about the fact that I'm married and I want to do something, and I'm trying to share that with my husband, and my husband is saying that, oh, I don't think that in this family we should do that, you know, and he's trying to say, okay, these are the reasons why, you know, I feel that you should not do that. It's just like, let me not even talk about my husband now. It's just like I'm having a conversation with my fellow woman, because if I'm calling it my husband, they'll say, he's the man, that's why he's saying it's a final say. So, talking about a lady, my friend Mimi is saying, oh, Lois, no, I don't think that this is a good idea. I think that it's a wrong idea, because at the end of the day, this is the result that you will get. And I'm like, no, I must do it, I must do it, I must do it. And then because of the fact that he said no, you are now saying, oh, I'm a feminist. So you cannot tell me what to do because I'm married. That's why you cannot tell me what to do. But from his own perspective, he's telling you this because of the love that he has for you. But because a lot of people do not look at it in that perspective, they now begin to, you know, use that and say, oh, I'm a feminist, you know, and I would do something else, and all of that and all of that. And sometimes even when women say no, because sometimes it's okay for you to say no. It's okay for you to say, no, I don't want to do this.
You can't always say yes.
You can't always say yes all the time. And, you know, when they now say no, then the guy now feels that, oh, so you two, you have started this feminism thing that everybody is doing now. You have joined them. You have joined the gang, you know. It's just her saying no. It has nothing to do with if she's a feminism. It has nothing to do with feminism or if she's a feminist or anything. It's just her saying no. And I feel that a lot of people need to understand that it's okay for people to say no and for them to accept the no.
I feel like some people need to even start saying no more, because like when you're always saying yes, 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 yes,
people
you need to show them your red
eye. If you know this particular person as someone that's always saying yes. And for a reason, this person says no. You should have it like think what exactly made this person to say no.
No, some people don't even like some people don't even like it when you say no to them. Some people, it affects them. They feel like you have rejected them. In fact, some people go into depression because you said no to them. And I feel that it is important that as a human being, it's okay to accept people's no. And it's okay for you to tell them that, oh, no, it doesn't have anything to do with feminism. You know, it doesn't have anything to do with all of this. But people just use that and they're like, oh, it's because she's a feminist. That's why. So now, I'm not shading anything. I know Rattle people will start saying, oh, you know, she's saying something now to VDM, but I will say what's on my mind. So there was a time a lady bought pepper soup from Hilda Bassi or something, and she brought the pepper soup, and she was like, oh, this pepper soup, I think she had a problem with it. Maybe it was watery or something like that. She was just trying to say that there was something wrong with the pepper soup. And then, you know, VDM came and said, why is it that she cannot cook the pepper soup? There are days when, you know, we used to, as a woman, you come back and cook and pan the jam. And I heard that, and I'm like, excuse me, what are you talking about? She's coming back home late. She already has rice at home. From what she said, she already has rice at home. She just wanted pepper soup to eat with. Even though she should be comfortable. It's a choice. It's a choice. You know,
with the way you are acting now, they say, oh, these are feminists.
Exactly.
I'm just saying you want some like
but men do the same thing, because I know of men that cook. And some days they just choose not to, because they are bachelors, and they just cook. Oh, I don't want to cook today, you know, and I want to go and buy food. And it's okay for them to do that. But it's not okay for a woman who is tired to do that. No, it doesn't make sense.
She's not tired. Even if she's not tired, she's allowed to
make that choice. Exactly.
And it's not because she's a feminist or whatever.
Exactly.
It's just because
she wants that.
So you get to see that a lot of women died before their time. You get to see that stress killed women. When I'm saying stress, I'm saying some women sleep and they don't wake up.
Emotional stress.
They are tired.
Trauma.
They are tired because they go to these same jobs, you know, not advertising using your show, but I think that a lot of us need to watch Colors by Uche Jimbo. You know, there was a time we watched it at Action Aid. I think it was 2 weeks ago. And we saw, the man said, I want to marry a wife because I need her to take care of you. Because I need her to do this for you.
Wow.
Trying to gaslight her and all of that. You know, it's like you don't have a choice to make because there is a duty that is on your neck and you have to uphold and stand towards that duty. Now I'm talking about duty. I'm talking about duty in the sense that there are duties for men that it is your duty, whether you like it or not, it is your duty. And for women, whether you like it or not, it is your duty. What is wrong with helping each other? Okay. What is wrong with, oh, sorry, I'm unable to do this today. Can we do it together? Or I'm tired. Or I cannot, you know, because sometimes I feel that the communication is the problem.
Okay. And understanding.
And understanding. Because there's sometimes you communicate and the person does not understand. Exactly. So once, you know, there is a full communication on that particular thing, I say, oh, honey, today I'm so tired and I feel that, please, I need to rest due to the, you know, food. The guy understands that, okay, when I'm coming back, don't worry, I'll just pick up lunch or I'll pick up dinner for us. That's okay. Okay, but I feel that sometimes the problem happens when there's no proper communication and you're tired, you didn't communicate, and he's coming back from work hungry because every day you used to cook and today you did not cook. That is a problem. Do you understand? Because there is no proper understanding. But for some people now, they are like, is she supposed to be the one to cook? Is she supposed to do this? Is she supposed to do that? You have been doing it. And every family have their own standard. Every family know how they do their own things. That's why sometimes therapists, I don't know how people do it because everybody has the way they do their own things in their own, you know, family and in their own, you know.
What works for Mr. A might not work for Mr. B.
Exactly.
We are humans and we operate on a different level.
Exactly. So I feel that understanding needs to be there. That, okay, if he has been the one that has been, okay, oh, babe, take this money for her. Oh, babe, take this, for, you know, when he doesn't have, he doesn't have.
That's another misconception. That girls that are asking for money out there are feminists. Please.
Girls are asking for money. Are what? Are feminists?
Like, oh, my man has to do this for me before I can do that for him. It is.
So there's an expectation from you place that expectation.
There's also that misconception that girls that are asking for that a man, oh, I'm standing my ground, that my man has to do this.
So that is also pressure. That is also pressure, and that is you not understanding what is happening and what is in front of you. And that is why a lot of families end because they don't understand what it is. And you are feeling like he is the provider, he must do this, he must do that. It's not every time that he has money to buy a wig for you. It's not every time that he has money to do all of these things for you. So there has to be an
forgetting that you are a helpmate.
Exactly, forgetting that you are exactly. Wow. And then you just leave him to do all of these things. At the end of the day, he's a human being, he will get tired. At the end of the day, she's a human being, she will get tired and exhausted. And nobody needs a liability. You are lying on me all the time. Every time you are relying on me for one thing or the other. Pressuring me to, you know, be if I now say, oh, sorry, I cannot do it, you're not telling me that. Is that not what all your mates are doing outside? Is it not your mates? Is this social media safe? Is it not your mates that is buying Bugatti for their girlfriend?
Is that see, look at your mates. See your mates
doing it for them. You know, you now put him on that pedestal, and because of that, he's not like, okay, since my mates are doing it, let me
too
double my hustle.
Or crime now, even going to crime, cyber crime, what we call yahoo, you know, and all of these things. So I feel that we need to measure our scope, measure our understanding about all of these things. Look into your family. What sits well with your family? Don't hide behind feminism and do all of that thing that you're doing. Because I know that a lot of people would just hide behind feminism and say, he's a man, he's the one that's supposed to do this, he's the one that's supposed to do that. I'm not saying that he doesn't have his own duties and responsibilities. And your duties and responsibility is not, there's no a particular standard for it. Create your own standard as a family.
All right.
I have my family, I create my own standard. Oh, please, can we do it like this? Can we do it like that? Today, can you watch the toilet? Let me watch the toilet next week. You know, everybody can create their own standard for themselves. There are families where the woman is a full provider, and when they come out, you don't know.
That's true.
They will not tell you.
That's right.
There are some people on social media, you see them, they'll say, oh, my husband just got me a car. It's a lie, they got it for themselves.
Yeah.
You understand? But at the end of the day, they are like, so create your own standard. Don't let somebody's pattern and standard be your own standard. Create your standard and enjoy it. Enjoy your femininity. Enjoy the space that you are. Enjoy your masculinity. If this is what you like, you see somebody that you like and you feel that you guys share the same standard, you share the same goal, you have the same understanding, then you can call yourself a feminist, you know, and enjoy what you know.
Out of curiosity, is feminism a white or Western movement?
So I think that because some of the people that talk about all of these things are white, and they've been enforcing it for a while. It's just that of recent, our eyes are getting open to the fact that, you know, it is okay for you to be kind. It is okay for you to understand that there's a way of life, you know, there's a culture that binds people, and you shouldn't be pressured by some harmful traditional practices, you know. So that's the reason why it now looks like, you know, we're buying into Western standards. We're buying it. So we bought into education. Education is Western standard. Is it not doing well for us? Are we not enjoying it? We bought into a few things. Missionaries, health. White missionaries came into Nigeria and they did a lot of things. And today, we are adapting it, we are enjoying it, we are adopting it rather, we are enjoying it, and a lot of us are happy about it. So if we see a good thing, we can learn from it, and we can, you know, it's just that sometimes when we learn these things, we don't learn what it actually means. We bring it in and we transform it into what we think it should be.
And that is one thing. If we know at all, if there is one thing that we are good at in Africa as a whole, that is one thing we are good at. Copy and paste. And yes, my God, that's selfishness that we need to throw out. We need to throw that out because, you know, coming from the West, feminism is something entirely different out there. Yes, and yes, we need to see how this suits us because yes, we have some harmful traditional practices, but we also have some good ones that uphold our society as a whole. I know, but the thing is
that are sweet.
Exactly. But the thing is, the way we reinvent it and make it
feel like make it to suit, you know,
else. So
and the fact that some people have gone through some patterns and they want other people to go through that same pattern. So when you now say, oh no, this is not how my family is. This is not my husband. When he comes back early, he cooks for us. And your mother-in-law comes to the house and say, now my child, they cook. No. So what they experienced in their marriages that did not favor them, that made them feel unhappy, they now come and they pressurize it on the next generation, pressurize it into the families, and they're like, no, that is not the standard. This is how you should do. So that's why we say patriarchy is not a man. Because a lot of people hate men, and a lot of advocates say patriarchy is a man. The fact that a man is there, a man is the this, a man is the that. Patriarchy is not a man. Patriarchy is a system. Because some women are patriarchal. These mother-in-laws I'm giving example of are patriarchal. Because when they come into your homes, they are like, oh, my husband beats me and that means he's disciplining me. So when my son beats you, you take it like that. You accept it because, you know, and they put all of that in your family. They put that pressure on your family. At the end of the day, you see that they are the ones that will destroy your home.
Side note, though, in that kind of situation, who do you think should talk to who do you think should make a stand? Because when you have that type of situation, you know, who do you think should make a stand? Oh, that's not how we do it in fact. Is that the wife or is it the wife or the husband?
So I feel that a family needs to be one and should have one voice. So if my mother comes and my mother is impressing something on my husband and my mother is saying, why is it not, I'll be the one to tell my mom that no, that's not how we used to do it in our house. So the way we do it in our house is different. We love each other. We do this like this. We do this like this. We do this like this.
Your husband will also say same.
And my husband will also say same about me.
If you're saying this and your husband is saying something else,
that's a problem. That's a problem.
All right. So in a nutshell, we are saying feminism and our traditional values can work hand in hand. That's what we are saying.
It's just that when there is now a harmful traditional practice, then we now say, oh no, this is wrong. Like female genital mutilation now is a harmful cultural practice. And there are men that are doing, there are women that are doing this. And we're saying that, oh no, this is a cultural practice, it is wrong, you shouldn't do it. It doesn't have health benefit, you know, it does this to a woman. immediate consequences, aftermath consequences are there. So we need to move back on this. And that is the problem. A lot of people are now like, so why should we move back on it? It's something that our mothers have been doing, the mothers before them have been doing it, and all of that. So when a feminist like me is now saying, oh, we should stop this, people now shade me, and they're like, oh, because you were not caught, that's the reason why you're saying. Yeah, somebody said that to me. Wow. Oh, because you're not caught, that's the reason why you don't know the importance of it. That's the reason why you have turned rogue. That's the reason why you are disobedient. That's the only reason why you are telling us, we the elders, that we should not do that, you know, to the children. So it's a Western thing, you know. We have the understanding, but now, is it the thing that you are doing? Does it have benefit, or does it, you know, does it affect us? So we look at it. You're a human being. You have senses. When they bring something to you, you look at it and you're like, is this thing good? Is it bad? Is it something that I should, you know, imbibe, or is it something I should throw away? And if it's not something that you like, you throw it away. You know, so can you define feminist for yourself?
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Lois. I
feel like this episode should have another part.
Seriously, thank you so much. It was nice having you on the show. I mean, we've learned one or two. We've learned the actual meaning of feminism, what feminism entails. Feminism is not about superiority. It's not prejudice against the male gender. It's not about hating men. It is about equity in politics, education, the health sector, in all ramifications of life. Equity, not enmity. Thank you so much for watching. Till we come your way again, I am Confidence Reuben.
And I am Bukola Ogunbeje. Don't let anyone pressure you into becoming anything that you are not. Stay tuned on KAFTAN TV for more news and insightful updates. So we'll see you next time. Stay safe.
Bye.